Well, welcome everyone, and I'd like to first introduce our storyline today. I just want to make sure, and maybe if Moochie can put her hand up, can you hear me now, loud and clear? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and you can unmute yourself as well. And we just want to welcome you guys to the program today. We have an emergency breaking story with, unfortunately, another child dead, um, and it's all thanks to CPS. And so this is a very good friend of mine that's here today. She goes by Moochie Merchant, Caroline. She is the host of the amazing program, Reporting Live 845. Reporting Live 845. And why don't you just go ahead and tell everybody? We just showed a beautiful baby on the screen. That's named Kaya. Can you tell everybody about what's happened and occurred here in Orange County, New York?
Yes. First, thanks everybody for having me on, Francesca. You know I love you. And when I heard this story and I got the breaking news of the story, I didn't know who else to call, but I knew to call you. Um, I'm considered the voice for the people. Again, my name is Moochie Merchant. I've been doing this for about 10 years. I get a lot of breaking stories and a lot of, news and things like that. Unfortunately, yesterday, a baby, an infant, died. But it wasn't just that she died. It wasn't just that she died. It was the circumstances around her death that is bothering me and has the community in an uproar. So the reason why I even are doing this, Francesca, because I know that you can help and guide me to get the information out and to get me to where I need to go to hold CPS accountable. A young child was found, again, as an infant. I'm not even going to say child, an infant. But it wasn't just the infant died. It was the circumstances behind that. To know that this beautiful baby, this beautiful infant baby girl, was allowed to stay in a home with parents who already had cases against them, who already had children taken out of the home, who had reports to come to the house and check when they weren't doing their job. And because CPS has lacked in their efforts of doing their job, we have lost a child. The From what is reported, and this is reports from the family themselves have reached out to CPS. They have reached out for help. Nothing was done. CPS just comes in. They're here for a check, Francesca. They come in, they stop mid-sentence. Are you okay? Obviously, this is an infant. An infant can't tell you that they're hurting. There was no follow-up. There was no pop-ups, no nothing. And because of that, a child is dead. Now, this is not the first child, Francesca. Let me just update you about Orange County. In the same city, which is Newburgh, New York, there was another child named Peter, and he was found dehydrated, starved, and chained up in an apartment building. And still, nobody's being held accountable. CPS was called. They came, and again, they left these children with these unfit parents. Investigate. They didn't pop up. They didn't pop out. Now, the funny thing is, Francesca, as we are going through the story and the story is breaking, and I did a live yesterday to expose and start holding CPS accountable. The funny thing is, CPS decides to pop up on the other children of the parents that are involved in the allegedly hurting this child. They popped up on the other children and they checked on them. Isn't this a day time too soon? Because the other children haven't seen the parents in almost reported from the family in over a year. So you pop up on the children, that's okay, but you don't pop up on the infant that really needs you. And because of the negligence and because of people just getting in positions and not caring, and I really don't want to hear we're short staffed. I don't really want to hear that we're overwhelmed, because empathy and sympathy should always kick in when it comes to children. And because empathy and sympathy, and because everyone is so just want to do their job and go home and get a check, we have lost another child under the watch of CPS. And now is the time that we need to start holding CPS accountable. You still here, friend? Well, and that's why I'm here today. I may have lost Fran, so that you guys know, and just to give you some more update and some more comes back on, I have been getting news updates all day. The police even went to the house this morning, Francesca, to talk to the parents, to investigate. And the news reporter also, Blyas Gomez, went last night to meet the parents and get a story. And the father comes out of the house with a samurai sword, to the point where her and her news crew did not feel safe. So obviously we have a problem. And obviously we also news to report, because if I'm gonna tell it, I'm gonna tell it all. Also news to report, CPS has been in that house numerous times for this one infant child, numerous times with no results.
It's as you know, I know what they do and what they don't do. So their failure to protect is one of the main things, and also taking children from good homes. As we know, this is their thing. They do the complete opposite of normal, and this is not uncommon. And shortly, I'm literally having to work between two screens. It's something is happening. I don't understand what it is. I need to get some tech help back here, where I have to be on two screens. So you guys have to bear with me as I do this, because I'm not even in my own, I'm not even I'm not even in the host position, if that makes any sense. So little by little, we're going to show some pictures. I want to show the pictures of the parents. How do you know exactly how old this little infant was exactly? Or
someone said she was a month. Someone said she was 4 months. So we're just going to keep the timeline. She's between 1 and 4 months. 4 months.
Okay, because she looks younger than 4 months to me, but she's absolutely beautiful, and it's beyond heartbreaking to see this, and it's despicable, because this is continuing to happen. It's continuing to happen under our noses. It's happening everywhere. I was recently watching, and I don't know if anybody's watched this, the Netflix series regarding the Scientology. Okay, and if you guys haven't seen it, please watch it, because it reminds me of the same things that's happening in family court and CPS. I don't know if you know, Moochie, basically what this L. Ron Hubbard did is, everybody that joined there, and these were intelligent people, a lot of these people were wealthy in the millions, joined this L. Ron Hubbard, and it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry like family court. And they literally turned their children over to him. And they literally went out on a ship, okay? And they were raised by him. They were not with their families at all. Mothers and fathers just gave them up. And when I look at how people are easily brainwashed, but when you watch the program, and if you know what I know about family court and CPS and just how evil it is, and how children are literally marked with a dollar sign, they don't matter to these organizations. You'll see the clear connection between the two. It literally blows my mind. And so they're exposing all of this for the past few years, like I'm exposing this. But I'd love to get a hold of what is her name, Leah, I can't think of her last name right now. She's a pretty famous actress, but she was a part of the Scientology. But it's the same kind of brainwashing. When they reported abuse, sexual abuse, pedophilia, any kind of physical abuse to any of the children, they were told that they had to repent before God. It's so crazy. It's so non-Christianity and non-God, that they had to repent because there must have been something they were doing. And then once that was done, it was absolved. And then there's no help out there for you. Well, I got to tell you, when I deal with family court and I deal with CPS, it's the same thing. When a mother or father, and in most cases mother, reports abuse, okay, they are told they're coaching, they're told there's something wrong with them. They're either a liar or they're crazy. And this is the same way this Scientology treated these people. Now, on this side, this is the flip side. Here you got parents that are both really, really not good. Okay. And I'm going to show a couple pictures in a second here. I'd like you to describe them, but I have to get over to the other screen to do that, Moochie. But in this case, they had already taken some children. And what you're saying right now is that this baby died, which I want to know how the baby died.
That's
And
what we. Yep.
that's what we don't know right now, right?
From what he said, because I just wanted to be told, I had someone reach out to him when he was in his stable mind. He's saying something like the baby died in the home, left, the baby was sick and coughing. They took the baby to the hospital. The baby had fluid on her head. The hospital released the baby. When he got back, the baby died. Makes no sense. Absolutely no sense.
Makes no sense. And we know what gets me is that you've got these cases where the parents are doing nothing wrong, and they're literally there with a catcher's mitt as soon as mom gives birth, and they're taking that baby. But yet this baby that's got very severe drug addict parents. Am I right?
From what we know, definitely father is, and from what the mother is, excuse me, and from what About the father, he is a Looney Tune. He's not mentally unstable.
Well, let me show this picture because it's very alarming. Let me show this picture. Just bear with me as I do this, Moochie. You can feel free to talk.
No problem, because the people need to know. And CPS needs to be held accountable by any means necessary. And thank you to everybody that's tuning in and here for justice for this little baby.
If you can hear me still, Moochie, if you could just
Yeah.
describe this photograph. It's very alarming to me. It's just disturbing.
That's the first thing that we all said. So this is the father at hand, and this is the picture that of the baby girl. This is the man that he's saying unstable. This is the same man who has had other children taken away. This is the same man who just came downstairs with her camera came down swinging a sword. And reports also was that yesterday when the baby died, he was also had a sword out there intimidating people. This is the same man who the police have been coming to the house religiously looking for him. This is the man. And this picture bothers me in so many levels. I don't want to tell you what it's giving to me, but when I seen this picture and they sent it to picture, it was super alarming and very scary.
Oh,
So creepy.
I mean, this just is it just I see just pedophilia all over it. I'm sorry, and I'm just going to say it.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to call it like I see it. Now this apparently is the mom. Is that the mother?
And she is a known drug addict, and we do have I myself as a reporter have videos of her right after the baby died, same day, outside copping drugs.
Wow.
Same day.
Wow. And so CPS like handed this child back over to, do you know what kind of drugs she was doing? I mean, was it like heroin or what was she, do you know?
For the specifics, I'm sure if you're standing outside in the corner in the daytime, it has to be either heroin or crack. But I'm gonna say allegedly, I don't know which one it is, but definitely on some drugs. And yes, she has other children that have been taken away.
And do you know where those children are that she's had already taken away?
I don't know where they are, but I can tell you that they do come. CPS does bring them to visit.
They bring them to visit this mother and father.
Yes.
I can't even begin to tell you. And let me just get back on the screen here for a second.
I like to have my facts and my reports. So from a report I got, let me just put allegedly there. A lady brings them. It's about ranging from the age 10 to 12. Here's another thing that's alarming, Francesca, and to the people that's tuning in and will tune in. This baby. I myself, I've talked to a lot of her neighbors that live around there. It's very concerning that the neighbors did not know that this lady had a newborn baby.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yes, I have. The baby was 6 weeks old. Okay, 6 weeks old.
I was going to say the baby did look a lot younger than 4 months for sure, but I didn't know like so a month and a half.
Yep.
Just under 2 months. Yeah, and
Um,
it looked very like an infant. It looked like a like freshly newborn, baby, and like I said, a beautiful baby. It's just heartbreaking. Now they didn't say, because I mean, one of these pictures, which I'm going to put up, I do see bruises already on the child. It looks like on the face. Let me grab that one and pull that up for you so I can.
pull it up.
Just a moment. Let's get it. Bear with me.
Let me see what picture she's pulling up. While you're pulling that up, we said the baby's 6 weeks old, and the police said they noticed she had a bruise on her head. Now, I just want the people to take a look at this picture. Not only does she look like she has bruises, but this is an infant child. We know the importance of cleanliness when it comes to infant children. If you could just pay attention to the surroundings, her bottles are on the floor. I don't know if this is a bib or a blanket. It's absolutely filthy. So just pointing out some things. This is a beautiful child that could have had more life. It protected her. Look at this child. And looking at this picture, I would look at this picture and say you can tell that the mother was on drugs because she looks a little premature. So very heartbreaking.
we're having just these weird technical issues. Like I said, what gets me from having to do this all the time. What gets me when having to work with really amazing mothers that have clean, amazing backgrounds, that are intelligent and just amazing human beings. And when they report abuse, they lose their children. They lose their children. I have mothers that literally don't see their own children with clean backgrounds, and they handed this baby over. I mean, like, you can't wrap your head around this in any way, shape, or form, other than this is a demonic authority that's on this earth, because nobody in their right mind would hand a baby, newborn, fragile baby like that back over to this, and yet take children away from mothers who report abuse.
And the
God
funny
help me. Just
and
help me.
the funny thing is, Francesca, I have friends that I know that they use CPS to weaponize each other when they don't like
100. Mhm.
and CPS comes and they ransack the house and they pop up. But a situation like, I said this I work in the medical field in the hospital, and we all know even when a doctor gives you a treatment, he always has to follow up. Always has to follow up to make sure everything is working out and everything, worked out. You get a
Right.
surgery, have a post-op 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 90 days. You mean to tell me that CPS got a call? They know that he and she already have prior children, both of them, that were taking. And you mean to tell me that you guys just put the child back in there with no questions, no pop-ups, no hi, nothing?
No, it's like they intentionally don't care. And
Right.
I can say this because I see this so frequently, and I've seen it for so many years, so frequently, that they intentionally don't care. I mean, this is the CPS News Network. CPS News Network literally has a whole network on just CPS alone. Now, I like to go after the judges themselves. And just to kind of tell the viewing audience, we didn't do our normal intro just because we had an emergency. We will be putting stuff in there so you can see if you need help and so on. We're gonna do an infomercial so because we needed to get this going. We had emergency situation in the story and break it sooner than 7 o'clock. I'm just saying this to say that there is help out there, and I've been very successful in getting kids back, very successful in getting them not put through this horror. I'm really grateful to God that God has given me so much wisdom in this crazy business to not just expose it, but we've been seeing judges. I literally had a judge again today, literally thanking me for being there, invoking the ADA rights of people. We're pushing it so hard. I'm filing constant non-compliance complaints with the United States Department of Justice. I have to fight them to get it where they're supposed to be doing things because the whole system is corrupted. But because we've been doing so much of a fight for so long, and it breaks my heart when I can't save a child like this, we have been repeatedly successful. I talk in court now with the permission of the judges because they want to hear what I have to say. Okay, that took a lot. Moochie, that took a lot of years of battle. Okay, and I appreciate you so much because literally you do a radio program that you've been doing for years. You are a major player in the Hudson Valley, and you basically bring out all kinds of amazing artists, but you have a passion and a heart for this topic and other topics of where people's human rights are violated. That's where your heart is at, really, right? So you're doing the entertainment side of it, but you're using your nice big platform to help bring out these kinds of stories. And I'm grateful to you for doing this. You started seeing that there was major problems, not just in this with CPS and family court, but like with the police officers and just with so many different corrupt places that have just become corrupt. It's just sad. It's not that we want to have this happening. We want to see them do the right job, but they're not.
And we're definitely not going to let this go. So my whole goal for this, Francesca, and my whole thing for this and reaching out to you, because I know you could get it done, is CPS, especially in Orange County, has to be held accountable. I want them held accountable. I want the supervisors being held accountable. We got to start there because it didn't even make it. How bad it is. It didn't even make it to a judge because a judge, had they seen the situation, would have snatched that baby ASAP.
I would think so. I would have to say I would think so. Yes.
So the fact that it didn't even make it there or the child wasn't taken out, CPS in Orange County, I just want them to know this publicly, and I'm going to say this publicly on this platform. And as I said, on my platform and any platform I go for, I am not going to rest until CPS in Orange County
It's held
is
accountable.
accountable.
I agree.
Because died under their watch.
That's right. That's right. And that you said it, and I did watch your live video, and you can tell people how to get to your live video so they can. I think I have also shared it on my page, but if I didn't, oh no, I think I did. But if I didn't, I will. I promise it'll be on my pages as well. You can watch these broadcasts on CPS News Network, Punish for Protecting News Network, Rumble now, YouTube, Punish No More and Free to Protect. Anything with Punish for Protecting on it. My page, on Moochie's page, you've got what Reporting Live 845. You have several Moochie merchant pages where you can watch. Just so people know, you can, and definitely go and follow her as well. We are going to take a quick commercial break because I want people to know how they can get help. There is help out there, and I am working with more and more attorneys, corrupt and good. Both is both, okay? And I am seeing more changes, and especially in New York State, even though I do this nationwide, there is help out there for you. I know it is overwhelming when you're put in the middle of this. I know that when you're going through the whole family court ordeal or anything to do with CPS knocking on your door, it is very traumatizing, and I invoke your ADA rights. But when it comes to children being abused, I do not tolerate that. But if just go ahead.
Under any circumstances. I agree.
Under any circumstances, biological or not. Just give us one moment. We have a very important intermission, and wait for us because we have more to share today. Thank you, Moochie.
No problem.
We'll be right back after a message from Punished for Protecting Incorporated. Each new generation of protective mothers is shocked when they first go to family court and find it doesn't favor single mothers and is willing to jeopardize children. Francesca's harrowing experience with the broken family court system, from which she finally received justice after 8 months of struggle, is proof that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Francesca has one of these unspeakably cruel cases and has responded by shining a large spotlight on widespread failures so other mothers won't be shocked. Punished for Protecting the Injustice System of Family Court by Francesca Amato Banfield, advocate, mother, whistleblower, founder, and TV talk show host of Punished for Protecting. If you are struggling with injustices wrought by our courts, this book will help guide you through the process. Available on Amazon.com. Search Punished for Protecting and get your copy today. Help abolish family court by purchasing Punished for Protecting merchandise. Here are our top sellers. See the link in the YouTube video description to find out how to get your Punished for Protecting t-shirt. Get your high-quality Punished for Protecting t-shirt while supplies last, and let everyone know that you stand for justice. Are you being re-victimized by the family court system? Do you need help with your case? Go online and book a talk with Francesca. Go to punished4beingAparent.com/book-a-talk. Fill in your name, email address, and message to Francesca. Someone will get back to you within 24 hours. Francesca and her staff of volunteers continue to work tirelessly every single day for parents and children who are in need of their help. There have been multiple success stories, including Francesca's, which gives hope to others in similar situations. Punished for Protecting Incorporated has incurred out-of-pocket expenses with zero funding to help families get their children back or to save their children from being taken. We also have provided funds to help with retainers, food, lodging, and travel. We really need your help so we can continue to provide our many services. Any amount is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to donate or sponsor a family in need of help, go to Cash App, Free the Children. And now back to our broadcast.
Hush.
Thank you for watching that, everyone. And also just know how important it is that anything that you guys purchase, like a book or t-shirts, anything helps us so much so that we can help people who cannot afford help. So that is really important. And Moochie, just you were talking, I believe, with a family member. Did you want to kind of elaborate a little bit on that and what she said?
You know, first and foremost, shout out to the father of the child, to his sister, which is Kaya Page's aunt. First of all, big shout out to her. For a long time, she has, and this is another thing, for a long time, this woman has been letting it be known that her brother is not stable. She watched her nieces and nephews get taken. She knew something. She reached out to CPS and they did nothing. She's made it very vocal that this child should not be in this home. It's not right. She was called the crazy sister, always trying to make somebody look bad instead of them listening. So had we listened to the crazy sister,
right,
alive today. So and she's been very she's talked to me. She's been very open with me, honest, but very helpful. She just wants answers as well. She doesn't believe what she's being told. She also feels something has happened to her niece wrongfully, and she's all in to get justice for Kaya Page. So I just want to shout out Auntie. I'm gonna say her last name is Green, so shout out to Miss Auntie Green.
Yes.
On the check, she is on the live watching. We appreciate you, and you know what? Mostly I appreciate her because a lot of people cover up and protect their abuser, the abuser. That's speaking out, and because she was speaking out against an abuser, she's labeled crazy, she's labeled loony, she's labeled, oh, you're always trying to make me look bad. But had we listened to the hero, because she was a shero, had we listened to the shero, Kaya Page would still be here. So shout out to you, Auntie. Job well done. I'm sorry that nobody listened. I'm sorry you didn't know me and Fran before this, because we promised you we would have listened, but you know us now, so just know we're gonna get.
Yeah, I want to validate you too. I know this is such a heartbreaking time for you, and my heart goes out to you, and my prayers go out to you and your family. But that's just what happens, Moochie. That's what happens every single time you tell somebody someone's abusing someone, whether it be an authority or someone else, and you're always crazy and you're always a liar. And that's the narrative and anytime you see any woman being called a crazy liar, even famous recent court thing that was all national, went on all the media, always know that they're not a liar and they're not crazy. And we always validate you, okay? This is just a narrative. It's a false narrative that's been out because there's a lot of money to make in child abuse. There's a lot of money that they're making in abusing children. And it always makes news only after the child is dead. And that's the really sad part.
Only after the child. So let me just remind the people, is a 6-week-old infant child, because I just got the exact 6-week-old infant child, beautiful baby girl, couldn't speak, so she had no protection. And the one people that we call, the one people that we pay and I'm gonna get angry in a few more. Yep. The one people that our tax money pays you. Your job and due diligence is specifically to children protect services. And call when there's no voice. The voice of the voiceless is the same people who are serial killers. These are known child protective services, CPS, are paid serial killers.
Yes.
But I want you to know,
yes,
I'm going to say this again. I don't care about the Illuminati. I don't care about the 1%ers. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about your voodoo. I don't care about nothing. With my last breath, I am not going to allow another child, the serial killer system called CPS. Believe what I'm telling you.
Yeah, yes, 100%. Child predator services, child pedophilia services. They have the nerve to call themselves child protective. They have the audacity to call themselves child protective. It blows my mind. And then the judges that rubber stamp these orders and put
Yep.
and you know what? And then I have to deal with all the youth, the teenagers that are so lost today. They're all on drugs today. They're all on, everything that they're all like, they're screaming, they're fighting, they're arguing, they're hard to control right now. They're forced into public school. God forbid you put them in homeschool or private school. The judges force them into public school now because they want it, this whole governmental psycho craziness that's been going on. Instead of letting families make their own decisions. And then, of course, when you have a family, a biological family that I fight so hard for, that has definite issues, you just hand a child over to them.
Here.
It's beyond infuriating to me. It blows my freaking mind that I have to fight for protective, loving mothers and fathers. I have to fight for their rights, but they hand children over to abusers. Just, there's no words for it. There's no words.
So I just wanted to definitely sit with you, Francesca, as another to add on to the family, to let them know that they're not alone. I had to call in the big dog, and we're not talking about CPS because CPS is not the big dog. I had to call in. I had to call in Francesca Amato. I had to call in the big dogs. So we're gonna take this to the top. She is super qualified, more than anybody else. I'm just a voice, but her qualifications, to everybody that's watching that wants to help, her qualifications is gonna get us some answers. And Francesca, I just have to say this publicly. Thank you. Thank you for being in this area. Thank you for protecting children, and thank you more so for protecting children that are not yours. Thank you to be yours, for you to have this love and passion for the children. Thank you for not letting it have to happen to you, for you to have that love and that energy to fight. Thank you, because I have that same energy, and it's hard to find people to do this, with that heart, without having to get paid or wanting some type of validation. We just want these kids to live and have a chance. And I appreciate you, and I love you, and I definitely wanted the family just to know that you, and we're going to work together to figure out what we're going to do to hold Orange County accountable. Now, I do see in the chat, someone did say, what about Ulster County? Please, by all means, reach out to me and Fran. Give us the story. Tell us. We're calling them out.
Well, I mean, and people know I do this all over the entire country, so it's any county. Right now, we just want to focus on this one incident where this baby died. But there's a case up. There's numerous cases in Erie County, New York, by this Dr. Nathanson that he's under. Now I understand they're trying to get him to resign. It's like, resign. He belongs in jail. He's done. All these parents with delusional disorder. Delusional disorder is in less than 1% of the population, yet all these people live in Erie County, and it's all the ones that are involved in family court, and there's another dead baby up there. I did the story on that because he diagnosed the family with delusional disorder, and there's another child that's being currently abused up in that area at Connors Residential Treatment Center, and that's in Buffalo, New York. They're abusing children in all these places, and the doctor diagnoses them with delusional disorder so they can take the custody of the children. And the one baby died, and the father was saying, I don't like what's going on there. This is not safe. It's not safe. It's not safe. So he rubber stamps the delusional disorder, fake diagnosis, and the baby died. And then the one boy that we've been fighting for so long, like 2 years now, Jody Gracer, her son Landon, he's in Connors Residential Treatment Center after he's been repeatedly abused in there. And then I've called in reports myself. I've called in to the police, investigators, you name it. And I end up arguing with them because they're, I'm going on vacation, so we'll go in and we'll check them when I get back in 2 weeks. I was like, excuse me? Get your ass in there now. I'm calling about child abuse. This isn't because it's family court involved. Just because it's family court involved, they don't care. Okay? Because they think, oh, tit for tat. It's not for tit for tat. People are not complaining for no reason. Okay, when someone tells you, or if a child discloses sexual abuse or physical abuse, and then the next time you come in with one of your, medical clinicians, and they don't say the same thing twice because kids are scared, They're
Mhm.
terrified to talk about their abuser who threatens them because the judges are ordering them in the hands of their abusers. And when a child discloses, you better take it seriously. Stop telling us if you see something, say something. If you're not going to do something, okay, and you're going to stop calling people crazy or liars.
Mhm.
This has to stop. So it doesn't matter the county, okay? Obviously, I've had a major mark on Ulster County. As a matter of fact, because I filed so many complaints to the Department of Justice, they were sending the same canned letter back too, that we don't have the resources. Imagine the Department of Justice not having the resources. Okay, we know that that's a lie, but now they're finally. Do you know that now that they finally? It's been about 2 weeks now. Are now going after CPS because we filed so many complaints. They are now holding them accountable. So finally, and it took numerous complaints in every county, in every state. Anytime you need a complaint, you come to me. I do it. Even if you done it yourself and you failed, and you came up short, like nothing happened, come to me because I add the federal codifications under the Americans with Disability Act to these, and then I continue to force my way in until they do something. And what they're doing is auditing the unified court system. So when I go all the way up the food chain through the unified court system and I get to their highest ADA advocate or their ADA liaison, they don't even know an eighth of what I know, or my mentor, who's a forensic expert in the ADA. Okay. So they don't even know it. So now when I go into these courts, they're like thanking me because they're like, I didn't even know that this was wrong. Well, now you need to quickly remedy that so that because let me tell you something. If a person is violating the ADA, whether it be a court, because there's laws that you can read it very clearly, a court is not exempt and a judge is not exempt. And a judge can't keep me out. Like they'll say, well, I'll see if we could bring the ADA advocate in. No, because you can't deny the wheelchair. So therefore you can't deny the seeing eye dog, which is what I would be. I would be the emotional support dog, the seeing eye dog, the wheelchair.
Yep.
Okay. But I just happen to be an expert in it too. And so now the judge can't say I allow her in or I don't allow her in. That would be like saying I allow the wheelchair in or I don't allow the wheelchair in. I mean, it just because it's not a visible disability doesn't mean you have the authority to keep away whatever their accommodation is that they need. Okay. I've got a lot of noise going on here. But I know you have more that you want to say about this case.
I just wanted to add, I know I just wanted to assure the family that's also watching too. So, and to let you know, I'm going to start a petition and I'm going to get some signatures against Orange County. I've also started the process of having people who I know for a fact, because I do my homework all the time, so I wouldn't bring you anything that's unnecessary, that I know for a fact are good people who have had a run-in with CPS and their experiences. I have them starting to write me and reach out to me, so I'm going to send that to you. I'm going to have a petition as well going around for people signing against them, and hopefully you could Fran could use that as you're going up the food chain to call somebody into Orange County now to start at least opening some cases, reviewing some. I'm going to give you some caseworker names, and I'm giving you the caseworker names also because a lot of these caseworkers, they show up, but they don't do their jobs at all. I've had a young lady reach out to me to tell me she had a caseworker come to her house. The caseworker stopped at the door and made a statement to her, although you're a drug addict, you keep your house clean. She never walked through the house. She never checked her refrigerators and walked out. So we're gonna do a little bit. You know how I do, Fran. Fran, you do the world, but I like to call names and put people on a platter. So a lot of these, you're gonna get a lot of names of specific caseworkers. You're gonna start seeing me sending you some testimonies of people who have had run-ins with them and what their experience is, as well as some names of people that do not agree with what happened to Kaya Page. That's the young lady, that infant that died. Kaya Page, and they want justice for Kaya Page as well and answers. So I will be giving you some material on behalf of the community.
Well, that's awesome. And I'll be happy to put stuff on the broadcast to spread the word more. Yeah. We are a nonprofit, but we're unlike a nonprofit. We're not a multi-million-dollar nonprofit that gets all kinds of funding. We get zero. Okay. Well, very, very seldom do we get a donation. I've taken out of pocket till I can't anymore. $270,000 a year I do in free work. It comes from me, my physical labor. It doesn't come from my bank account. That's for sure. I've given up everything for this. There are fees for things that we do because we do not get grants because we're a 501. 4, we're not a 3. So, I have to live too, I have to function in life. And but so there are certain fees, like if I have to travel, there are certain fees. I mean, we have specialists and we do have volunteers, but we are an amazing team. I mean, literally, I don't know what I would do without my teamwork. Because I'm the one that's in there in the front lines, basically doing the fight part, and so I just do want to make people aware of that part of it. Like a 501c3, they get multi-millions of dollars. They literally do. We don't get anything whatsoever. There are no such thing as grants for 501c4s, just so you know. But the reason that I chose that is because my voice is not silenced. I'm private. I do not work for the courts. I do not work for CPS. I work against them. Okay. So when I have to go into the lion's den, I'm able to do my job.
Right.
And I'm not a bar member. I'm not an attorney. Okay. But I have met some very nice ones too that feel the same way that I do. Okay. And sometimes when you do have the good ones, okay, because it is still the British accreditation registry, it's still the bar membership. They're not licensed, they're bar certified, just so you guys are aware. They do get blacklisted when they are the decent ones that didn't know what they were literally getting into. But it is a very wicked system. It is a very corrupt system. Okay. And that's why I was likening it to this whole Scientology thing, because I am literally floored by how much it's so similar. The similarities are uncanny. The same type of damages, the same type of pedophilia, the same type of abuse, and the same type of accusations. You're a liar and you are crazy.
Crazy.
Okay. And shut up. We're gonna destroy your life. We'll take everything you have.
Everything.
Everything you have. And so, yeah.
Just to add this last thing, you know what the funny thing is? It's crazy because you can get more time for selling drugs to an adult, a willing adult. Maybe they're not drugs, but a willing adult, than you get for hurting, touching, raping, molesting, anything a child. You get more time for that than you do for a child. You get more time for a driving ticket than you do a child doing anything for a child. Isn't that ironic?
It's disgusting. It's because children, it's like I always say this, the value they have is the dollar signs over them. Okay. But to these people, they have no value as a human life, no value at all. And it's really scary and it's really sad. And if we don't be their voice and if we don't fight for them and we don't fight for this generation, okay, in the past generations that got us to this place, we don't have, I keep saying, we don't have a country. We don't have it. These kids grow up and then they marry people who are damaged, and then it causes more of this vicious cycle. And that's what they want. They want your child to be like a juvenile delinquent, which I hate the word, but that's what they want, because they want all these kids vaping and they want them smoking pot and they want them doing worse drugs. They want them their brain is not fully developed till they're 24. Okay. Yeah. So all this damage that they do to themselves, especially with this vaping that's been going on, that they build it as a healthy thing when it's not healthy at all. There's over 200 cigarettes in some of these vapes, the equivalents of 200 cigarettes. In some of them, there's the equivalents of like 20. Okay, so people that were trying to quit smoking and went to vaping, they're now way worse addicted than they were before. Then the other that has marijuana in it for the teenagers whose brains aren't developed all the way yet. Okay, it's not like they're getting something that's natural and healthy, or at least, I mean, obviously an organic apple is healthy, but if you smoke it, you got a whole different problem going on there. Okay. But these kids, it's all the chemicals that are in it. It's the whole process. It's making them have seizures. It's giving them bouts of aggression and all kinds of stuff. But they wouldn't be doing all of this if proper parents, I'm not talking about like people like this one, I'm talking about proper parents were left alone to raise their children properly, like the way you and I were raised. You were raised by a most amazing mother. Okay. And we were raised with morals and values and boundaries and standards. Kids today, they don't have that, because when they have good parents and they're ripped apart and they're put into the hands of an abuser or through the system, these kids don't have anything to fall on. It's heartbreaking. And you have to have a lot of love and nurturing for these kids, because you can't get mad at them for the choices they're making. You have to guide them through these choices, because they're putting their emotions, they don't know what to do with their emotions, and they're still developing. So it just breaks my heart every day. That's all I can tell you is, Moochie, it breaks my heart every day. And we don't have enough hands or help or finances to do all that we need to do.
We're going to figure it out.
We're going to figure it out.
We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure it out. I don't care. We got to do a fundraiser for you to get busy with this case. Well, whatever, GoFundMe, whatever we got to do, we're going to do it. The people are going to have to donate, because we need answers. And then we can't let die.
I don't know if people even understand too when they're donating to these nonprofit organizations that are and all this stuff. When they're doing that, they're actually donating to child trafficking. They're donating to child trafficking when you're donating to some of these big, huge organizations.
I believe it.
Okay, so they don't know that, and there's a lot of this. They play on your emotions and stuff like that, and they're literally trafficking the children. Like it's like
Disgusting.
and by the way, I don't know if you saw the Jeffrey Dahmer movie. Some people couldn't watch it. I did watch it because I like to like see, but it just kills me because that's also like something that happened in the late 80s and 90s. And if you see this one part, the police actually handed a 14-year-old boy,
Back to him.
right back to him, and the woman in the same place. I mean, she's an amazing. You talk about a shero. That's a shero right there
That's,
too.
oh,
She was literally begging the police. They got the audios on 911, and she's saying, "This is not an 18-year-old. Even if it was, save his life. He's bleeding out of the rectal. He had he drilled his head and put chemicals into his head, and he managed to get out of the building onto the ground, and he was stuck naked. Oh, he's just drunk. He gets like this, bleeding from the rectal.
that's crazy.
And he's 14 years old.
That's a perfect example. Yeah.
It's a perfect example to the matching of what we're dealing with now.
Yes, because that's what
CPS did better.
That's what CPS did.
Why didn't they get better? Why wasn't there more accountability since that time to this time? Why didn't they get better? Why have they not? Right under their noses, this man was doing this horrible, crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And why didn't anybody get better since then? Why not? Why haven't the police gotten better but worse?
Yep.
Okay? And I respect some police officers. Don't get me wrong, okay? I don't bleed blue though. I'm not 100%, like I'm not that person. I'm the person that looks at the human rights of all people, and I don't want to see anybody hurt by a system.
Right.
Help me. Are you getting more email right now?
Nope, you're good. Fran, I love you, and I just know that you're definitely going to be compensated for your time and your energy, because the people need answers. So the people have your back. So the people, if we got to start a GoFundMe just to make sure we can take this all the way to the top and get you to the top. Whatever we're going to do, we're going to do it, because the people need you right now.
Keep doing what we can do. Yes.
Right. We cannot.
But anyway, with or without funding, we still do it. I'm just trying to say.
No, I just want you to know. I just want you to know that we need you. So whatever we have to do, we got to pray for you, and we got to cover you. We're gonna cover you with the Holy Spirit. We're gonna make sure financially you're good. You hear me? We're gonna equip you physically, emotionally, to help us fight this fight, so not another child
goes through the cracks. Yeah.
I can't speak for the whole world because I can't save the world, but I can speak for the Hudson Valley region. I can speak for Sullivan County, Dutchess County, Rockland County, Dutchess County, Orange County, Rockland County, Sutherland County, Orange County. I can't speak for those counties. We will not allow another child to die under CPS watch. Not watch voice.
100%. 100%. And not let these children be abused under all of this watch, family court and CPS watch. It's got to stop. Abolishment should have came when I made that speech at the New York State Assembly. And the next day they should have got their act together. And I got to say something. And that Janet DiFiore with her fake judicial excellence initiative, well, her butt is out of New York State. She's been kicked out. Okay. So obviously they are not bigger than we think they are. And that is an important factor, that people that are going through this right now, they are not God. They think they are God, but they will not stay in their positions. Okay. Some of them still get their salaries, which really sucks. And they should be behind bars in prison, but they do not stay in those positions. Remember, there was enough people that were complaining, saying enough of this nonsense, and she is no longer the chief judge of New York State. Okay. So Judge DiFiorio with her fake excellence initiative. And I used to say, where's the excellence in this initiative? There's no excellence in this.
There's no excellence at all.
So, but Moochie, I can't thank you enough. I love you so much. And actually, this is from you a few years ago up here. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yes.
I always wear it proudly. I love it. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So, but everybody definitely check out Moochie Merchant, reporting live 845, and any support you can give her. Definitely follow her. You are an amazing, amazing pillar of this community. We love you so much. And I can't thank you enough for all that you do. I know you are like the Energizer battery. Plus you work a full-time job and you're a mother. Like you literally are amazing. So, And thank you so much for bringing this story out and, and bringing it to the attention of more people. And guys, we need your help. One of the things you can do, doesn't cost anything. Just share these stories so people can get informed. Share them so that, and also pray for this family because they're suffering tremendously from the loss of this wonderful and beautiful little baby Kaya. It just should have never happened. Should have never happened. 6 weeks of life.
And then just for anyone that's watching and will watching, if you don't mind, I will be starting a petition within the next 24 to 48 hours of online petition. And the petition is just going to be justice for children against CPS. And we just want you guys, if you could just sign the petition, you will see the details, but it gives us a little fight against them. We do not want any more children dying, suffering, or abused under CPS's watch. Under any circumstances. We want them to do their job effectively. Imagine a doctor not doing their job effectively. Imagine a surgeon not doing their job effectively. Well, who else? We can't say police because we could say because there's good police. So imagine a good.
If they follow the oath for the people, this would not go on. And if they held each other accountable when they saw corruption, because there's good police in the midst of this, but they're scared, some of them, and they're also, look at Long Island when Thomas Falvo was murdered in the garage with his pants down and froze to death with his police officer father who was running a child trafficking ring with cameras and $300,000 and $400,000 coming through his bank account. The judges in Long Island and the police in Long Island, because you'll see me screaming on the cover of every newspaper down there if you go look up the whole case when I was down in Long Island telling off all of the legislators, okay? And the wonderful mother that they took the children from her with an innocent, clean background, gave them to him because of his power, and then all the judges literally took the evidence out. That is called obstruction of justice. They would not allow the evidence of the cameras. They were gone. They would not allow the evidence of the financials. They were gone. Yes, he sits in prison now, okay? The child is dead, but did this have to happen? Did this have to happen? And the judges were all literally covered up the evidence. Unbelievable. And so police like that, you all covered him up, and you're still continuing to cover him up. So how can we have faith and trust in this judicial system? How can we have faith and trust in the police system? How can we? We cannot.
We cannot. And we will not until we see.
And we will not. And we will not. We do want you, and we would love for you to do your jobs right. If you did your jobs right, we wouldn't have to have these live conversations right now.
But since we have to have them, we're going to go in depth, and we're going to make some noise until we cannot make no noise no more.
Amen.
With that being said, thank you so much, Francesca, for breaking it early. It was
Thank you.
Get out. It was boiling in my stomach like a girl, so I had to tell you. But I'm happy that you're on board. Thank you for taking, because you're like me. I take cases too. I got to look into, but thank you for taking.
We got to take it right away. Yeah. And hugs and love for the family and for the aunt.
For baby Kaya's our family, not her parents.
No, not the mother and father. I figured the aunt. I'm sure there's other people in that family that love this child.
And the siblings that got taken out the house and never really got a chance to spend time with their little sister and build bonds. That's gonna
right.
Like, these kids are gonna be traumatized to know that my sister died. I never really got.
Right. Never even got. And the suffering, the pain, the lifetime of pain and suffering. It's just. We got to do, and as Christians, we have to do all we possibly can for the weak and for the voiceless. That's what God tells us to do. We don't have a choice. Okay. That's all we're supposed to do. So
thank you so much. I love you, friend.
I love you so much. Bear with me, and we're going to have our closing credits. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate you, and please spread this message. Thank you, Moochie. Love you.
And love you more.
Baby Kaya, and keep the aunt and the siblings and the family that loved her or love her in your prayers and thoughts. Please spread this message. Spread it far and wide so that this doesn't happen to another child. Did you know that just by spreading the message, spreading the word, you could literally be saving a life? You literally could be saving a life. Thank you.
you.